can't believe I'm regretting not watching more isekai anime. How the heck do I get back to the real world? Oh.
The blood of my father calls to me. The ghost of my grandfather calls to me. Here in the jungle, I hear them in my mind. The trees whisper to fight for what's mine, to bring low the gorilla king's throne. Take the usurper's head off, make him cower before me in fear. I hear my father's voice call out, I hear him call from the grave. Blood rains across the land, the old usurper lies dead. His blood sprays across my face, his head lies at my feet at last. The throne is mine, the kingdom is mine, my father reigns. Silent in his grave, at peace once again. Take the usurper's head off, make him cower before me in fear.
You know, I'm supposed to be doing this in a couple of weeks or a couple episodes later, Tim.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
Yeah, like this is supposed to be number 14, or actually number 15 because I had to double up on last week's one. Because yeah, so it was crazy, and so I'm like, it won't happen right now, will it? So might as well like wait for when it does happen, then talk about it. But you know what? Tell me about this. Hey, actually, we got a good audience today. So hey chat, thank you for hanging out with us today. Chat's always the truth sayers. And sometimes they troll, but usually they're truth sayers.
Occasionally a jealous duck comes through, but we don't talk about him.
There's a duck?
Oh yeah. You know the duck.
Oh, you're talking about the quack.
Yep.
So Has the Quirk been doing anything recently that is of note?
I think he might have done a few documentaries, maybe. Documentaries.
Documentaries.
I was talking about
You know,
him.
talking about documentaries, there was a Mikey No More documentary at about 3 a.m. my time, I think it was, or 2 a.m. my time. And I was taking a break from watching a movie or working. I can't tell because usually I'm like doing one or the other to calm my head down, right? Usually, if I get tired, I start watching a movie, or anime, or YouTube, just to go chill, right? Until I get excited again and interested back in working. So I caught the entire thing this morning. Did you see the Mike and No More live stream?
No, I've heard about it.
It is worth watching, but you know what's more worth watching than the Mikey No More one?
What?
Our Duckman's or Duck King's
Duck Boy.
Or Duck Boy or POC. Wait, it is
Peanut
POC,
Head.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His documentaries, yeah.
His documentaries, because he is really, really good at making documentaries. So let me find, for those folks who are watching this may not know who Elasmat is, and I'll just take a bit of time out just to, I'll let you guys know Elasmat the Shadow Band, his channel. Shout out to my brother from another animal, from the bird race. I'm the monkey, so we're quite different, right? So we're not the same kind of animal things, as they say. But I'm quite. I love watching his documentaries. What about you, man?
They're great. I actually do enjoy it. And I hear he's like the next Todd McFarlane.
Okay. I'm not going to comment on that in the sense that I don't even know what that means, right? What does that mean? Like,
Well, Todd McFarlane's a legendary comic book creator with Spawn. He writes it, he draws it, and then he has other people draw it. My point is he's a legendary creator.
right.
And Elasmat, word has it, he feels that strongly that he's the next Todd McFarlane.
All right. Well, folks, I have found this his video. You guys can watch. It's a 4-hour long documentary. That's a full one. There's part ones, and this is the full version. So when you have time, go check it out. This is about the greatest villain in indie comics right now, by the name of Ethan Van Sciver, and the cesspool that is Comicsgate. Right. So links in the chat, titles on the screen. Go check it out. And for all of you out there, here's some bananas to enjoy. And of course, potassium is good for your body. All that sweet, natural sweetness and stuff. So, that's your reward for checking out Elasmat's video later. The Duck King is a good and mighty feathered being.
And if you can, try to get a copy of Road Warrior Drake. I hear it's fantastic.
He's supposed to send me a digital copy of the new one, and I'm quite excited about that. So please check out his channel and tell him we sent you. If you're not already friends over there with him,
yes, tell him Timothy sent you.
He will love you for that. So there's a link to his channel as well. Now, one thing, Tim, I want to know before we start, what the hell is this?
Oh, that's the fattest man alive.
Oh, no,
Yes.
no, I mean, enjoy all the moldy strawberries. What's that about?
Oh, that you did.
Does the chat know?
Wiggle stream where he the EFAP the fat one eating it was like a I think it must have been like
Right.
a pie, and it had all these fruits on it,
Right.
and it had one of the strawberries they noticed was very moldy, but
Okay.
he ate the whole bloody thing.
All right.
So I say unto thee, enjoy those moldy strawberries.
Okay. All right. So now that you've answered my question, you know what? What I've noticed over I guess my learned years is that women are like the most what should we say? Women are the most most. How do I say this in a way that doesn't make me sound like an a-hole? Women hate women more than men will ever do. Right?
Yes, yes, I think that's possible.
And here's a woman hating a woman for celebrating her freedom as a woman. So this is a young Iranian American doing the so-called Trump dance. And here's the thing. Chinese people who want freedom also did the Trump dance. When was it Venezuela? Maduro? Yeah, not Maduro. Who? It's Maduro, right? Venezuela. So when Maduro was captured, people in China were uploading videos of themselves doing the Trump dance because they were so happy because they too also want to be free from their communist dictator. So here's this young girl, excited. She's living in the land of the free, doing a thing. The caption is, I'm from I ain't on Patriot, right? Breaking news, party market, and all that, whatever. He goes, Iranian American as fuck. Iranian Americans all across the country are hitting the Trump dance. Liberals are furious. And here's a liberal. Now let's find out who she is before we, things like this just jump up on my stream, on my Twitter account, by the way. I don't go looking for them. They just jump up because if anything with like to do with Iran or, or things like that, or China, actually, mostly it's just Iran and Islam just turns up on my stream. I mean, on my face, on my homepage, right? So, here's what, see, if you're a lefty and if you're a righty and if you're a righty and you believe this, then you're just a lefty, as far as I'm concerned, right? You're a leftist because she's a leftist. She's here going like America first, all this, chair, organizer. Man, stop. Actually, let's go to her homepage, right? What's that? Montana, what's that? Liberal Party? What is all this? LP? What is that, man? Do you know anything about that? Focus on Austrian economic literacy. Wait,
what is that now? Let me see. Can you get close? Can you get
Oh, sorry, mate. Let me go full if I can go full. How's that? And then wait, go back out again.
What Montana? It was right there. Chair of.
Let me go in and zoom in.
Something.
How's that for you? Is that good?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. I see what happened there. We aren't on this thing. There we go. Right. So, Riblet. Do you know how to pronounce it?
Like a ball of confusion here. Is she Republican or what? Or what?
Libertarian.
Oh, she's a libertarian. Okay, that's kind of
ribber, like a rib. Right, she's like
maybe she's trying to be funny.
She can't make up her mind, right? I'm a centrist. That's it. I'm just the one thing. I'm I don't want.
I'm a little right leaning, but I'm more of a moderate. See.
Right. So, but like, I don't. My pronouns aren't liberal, libertarian. It's just center. So here's the thing, right? So she's part of the caucus. She organizes. She's a politician. So one thing I found that people who do this, they're basically commies. And I'm not saying this out of like some sort of spiteful thing. The reason I'm saying this is because I find that people who are like this, I can understand them, but they don't understand their own motives, because they think that if they're against Israel, then everything's fine. That if you don't help Israel, then everything will be fine. But look what's happening right now. Just today, dude. Was it like? Well, it's freaking 3 p.m. in the afternoon in New Zealand. What's the time there in your time?
What time? It's like 7.
Right. So I think around about last night, Austin, or middle of the night, whatever time it was, Austin, Texas, right, which is a liberal, leftist kind of, supposedly, so far I've heard, politically leaning, is lefty.
Yes, Austin, Texas is definitely that.
Yeah. So a dude from actually, I should ask you if that was the case. So thank you for confirming that. So a dude from Senegal, a Muslim from Senegal, went in and shot 3 people up in a nightclub. Do you think by not helping Israel, you're safe in America? We're safe in New Zealand? They're safe in Australia by not helping Israel? My cousins across the ditch, they felt safe at Christmas time, celebrating family, community, joy. They weren't helping Israel. This is what really pisses me about idiots who don't know how global, countries work outside their own country. But anyway, so this clown, right? Let's go back to what they don't want to spend too much time on this, but like, she goes, has anyone else noticed that the Iranian, and she's a libertarian, by the way. Remember she said she was a libertarian?
Yeah.
My tongue's getting tied up. Has anyone noticed that the Iranian women celebrating videos are all of women? Iranian women celebrating videos are all of women that are dressed like hookers. She is so woke that she couldn't even write the words without fucking it up like this.
Oh, is she trying to be hip?
No, she's woke. She's SJW. This is what SJWs do, I have heard. So that you can't, like, she's afraid to say it because she's a politician. Just say a prostitute, right? Just say she's a hooker. Just say what you mean. But no, SJWs do this. But here's the thing, right? This girl, I don't care how she's dressed, doesn't matter to me, because she's living in America, the land of the free, home of the brave, right? And you're an American, right? Tell me, what does that mean?
It means I'm pretty much free to do whatever I want.
But this lady doesn't think you should, bro. She's a politician.
Well, because it kind of seems like she's not minding her own business. Like, okay, somebody's dancing because they're happy about what's happening in Iran. Let them be happy about what's happening in Iran. Mind your business.
Yeah. But people like these, they don't really like to mind their own business because they're Karens. So there's that one. So of course, here's what happens when you think that you're safe. See, America has always tried to stay out of Iran and all that, even giving them billions of dollars, right? Billions and billions of dollars to keep safe. And over the 47 years when they instilled this, his predecessor, there was another one, Khomeini, whatever. They're all freaking the same names, So Ayatollah Khomeini, and then there was this dude, and then there's another dude. But like over that 47 years, dude, these guys have basically said, that death to America for 47 years. Even when you do nothing to them, they still say death to America because they see America as a big Satan, right? and Israel is a little Satan. So they want to, in their Quran, it says their Messiah or whoever it is will not come until everyone is a Muslim or everyone is dead, right? Or the
Right.
enemies are dead. So this fatwa, right? So this dude here, 99 years old, he's gonna die in a couple, you know, it's the next time he gets sick, he'll be dead, right? He probably won't even survive the war for the liberation of Iran from these Islamic overseers, dictators. So he declares jihad against America, right? So 99-year-old Grand Ayatollah Shirazi issued a fatwa, right? It's like a edict, which is like this holy thing that every Muslim must do. And this is why people don't understand Islam, is that even if you're moderate, you're not a moderate, right? Because a lot of them, you know, they will get forced to turn against you because the others will kill them otherwise. The
Right.
the fatwa people will kill them otherwise. And a lot of them do. So when there's a lot of Muslims who walk away from Islam, like Comicsgate, when you walk away from Comicsgate, they'll keep hounding you, right? They will chase you down. They'll pour acid in your face. They'll beat you in the streets. They'll pull your hair. Woman will pull your hair out from other woman. Man will beat the woman up, right?
Right.
See, these are things that Western people don't understand because it happens behind doors. It happens in their own communities. That's why they like to widen their own communities so they can actually police themselves and they can make every moderate be just like them, hardcore. So here it writes, here he says, right, his edict, his fatwa. 99-year-old, oh, by the way, the last fatwa was about the killing of Trump, right? And the one before that, the most famous one was for a writer, right? They actually took out his eye. They stabbed him in his eye on stage. They're still hunting him now. Oh, by the way, do you know that I haven't watched it myself? There's a TV series called Tehran. Tim, have you heard of that?
No, I have not.
So let me play a bit of thing from that as we just jump out of this dude's ugly mug, as they say. So the lady who created this was recently murdered in Germany by Iranian IRGC officers. In Germany, by the way. This is before the war, right? This is before anything. See, this is what I'm saying. Nobody's safe anywhere as long as Iran, as the overseers, dictators Iran existed. So now Dana Eden is her name, right? So she was born on the 3rd of September 1973. Dude, she's as old as me. She's actually 9. She's 4 months younger than me. Was 4 months younger than me. All right. And so they took her out. Right. So they let me see. I have it I have a little do I have it? Dana. I know it was 2C TV that gosh. Let me see if I can bring it up. Where are you, Dana? Oh man. I might have to jump over to TCTV for a second, look it up. But while we're doing that, I'm gonna play this other video while I go find that, because to be honest, this lady was living safely in a hotel in Germany, right? And they took her out. because of the fact that she made the movie, right? I mean, the TV show. Excuse me, man, that was a bit loud. Hold on. So here it is here. See, this is what people don't know when it comes to Islam. Once your name's on the list, you're not safe anywhere. This is what's happened to the UK. Now I've forgotten his name. It'll come to me. Who exposed the grooming gangs in the UK, where I mentioned before, where hundreds and hundreds of young British girls, Indians, and so forth, white, right, brown girls, were groomed, raped, passed around, trafficked for a decade. And they got away with it because, if you called it out, it was racism to them, because they're all brown. They're from Africa, Middle East, India, Tim.
Right.
You can't criticize Islam. Now Japanese are saying that we can't criticize Islam. Japan is now trying to do the same thing. So, because if you can't criticize somebody for their religion and the behaviors of the religion, then that means that religion is untouchable, which means they're special, right?
So Japan's trying to do that too?
Yeah, that was crazy, dude.
You mean a country that's famous for being very xenophobic?
Well, everybody goes woke, it seems, in this decade, in the last 2 decades.
Oh man, Japan is being stupid.
Let me hopefully I bookmarked it. Let me see the Japan one. Actually, let me grab this one first. So, where was he? Right. So listen to this. This is the supreme ruler's children. His son, Khamenei, the guy who just got killed yesterday. 100% confirmed. Right. The guy who was just since December has 35,000 plus dead Iranians, blood on his hands. 35,000, dude. And leftists are saying, well, we shouldn't be helping Israel. It's like, dude, this isn't about helping Israel. This is about freeing Iranians who have been crying out since December to say, come and free us, help us. We're going to rise up against these evildoers. And these guys were robbing their country blind, dude. And this is his son. Was like about $3 billion property magnate shit. What was it like? Give me a sec. What's the wording here? And plus $20 million propaganda machine. I'm a bit unprepared for this because it was supposed to be like 4 weeks, a couple more things down. So,
right.
But let me play this. Let's just get this video out.
New findings showing how the son of Iran's supreme leader has built a secret global property empire, kept hidden from public.
Oh, yeah, so this is a dude that got murdered. Well, not murdered, killed. All right. He was asking for it. 35,000 Iranian people's children, including children, by the way, and girls, students, blood on his hands. Young boys, young girls.
View. In North London, on a road known as Billionaires Row, several large mansions sit behind high walls and locked gates. Many stand empty. According to a Bloomberg report, these homes form part of a much larger financial network, a network that leads to the man we are talking about. He is 56 years old and the second son of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, often touted as a potential successor to his father. Western intelligence assessments say he controls a wider investment empire A network reportedly stretching from Tehran to Dubai and Frankfurt. He avoids holding assets in his own name, and most ownership traces back through layers of shell companies, reportedly, and has played a direct role, reportedly, in major deals. Some going back to 2011. The empire reportedly covering shipping in the Persian Gulf, bank accounts in Switzerland, luxury property in the UK worth more than $138 million. Some estimates putting the total money involved at several billion dollars, and this money moved even after the US imposed sanctions on him, reportedly, in 2019. The properties include prime homes in London, reportedly, one house alone costing 33.7 million euros when it was bought in 2014, reportedly. The network also reportedly owning a luxury villa in Dubai's most exclusive area and high-end hotels across Europe, including in Frankfurt. Documents showing funds moving through.
Tim?
Yeah, that guy looks familiar. Where have I seen that guy before?
This dude or the other dude? The old dude?
The dude we're looking at right now. That dude looks familiar.
Maybe you might have come across him on the last couple, like the last 4 or 5 weeks when he got. It was all
Yes,
over.
he's definitely on the show when you're showing a certain picture of certain people on a certain list.
Yeah, they most of them look like that. It's their culture thing, right?
Yeah, but wasn't that guy on there?
I would have to really look at that.
Yes,
Maybe
you
he
should.
was.
I swear to God, either it's we call that a Mandela effect or something, but I swear to God that guy's on that list.
I'll check back on that.
Banks in the UK, Switzerland, and the UAE. Much of the money comes from Iranian oil sales. And according to the Bloomberg report, he set up a financial network abroad. This network built banking ties across Europe and moved profits from oil exports through a complex web of companies based in the UAE. Much of the money is then reportedly passed through non-Iranian firms.
So that's called money laundering. And you know, these guys, this family, and here's the thing: Z, the dictator of Xi Jinping, whatever. I just know him as the dictator of China, right? The commie dictator of China, the one that looks like Winnie the Pooh. His sister and his own family also have oil links. So you know the oil that was coming out through Maduro in Venezuela, right? She controlled that. She got that oil go to her firm, and then she would get for $20 a barrel, and then she would sell that out for about 3 times, 4 times that, $80 a barrel, right? Back to the Chinese firms and stuff after turning it from crude to oil, right? And so when Trump says, "Hey, this is American oil," yeah, that's actually true because it's American companies that built that. They've got legal rights to that because they invested in that. And then along comes China, black marketeering it, $20 a barrel, right? Propping up their economy. But not only that, but profiteering and building overseas, what is it called? Empires. A lot of the money from the main Chinese families that run the politicians in China are doing what this dude is doing. They live in luxury outside while their own people eat dirt and leaves and bark because they're starving there. But we don't see that because a lot of people don't see what's actually happening there because they don't look there. They just say, propaganda is a great machine, bro. You know what propaganda is, right, Jim?
Yes, usually half truths and lies to frame a certain narrative.
Do you know that Chinese pay American and Western influences, European influences go to China, and they take them to on guided tours to special places where it's nice and pretty, but never allowed to leave their minders. And they all they talk about is how great everything is. Look, everybody's happy, and they get paid to do that. Free trips to China. And I'm sure there were people getting sent to Iran to do the same thing. Like Sneeko, right? Sneeko was crying today, bro, because his father died, but Sneeko's crying about it. You know, remember we talked about Sneeko like eating pork on live stream, and then he had to like, yeah. That's why I brought up Sneeko, because he was like, the dude, like they went after him because he's influential, right, amongst the young people, and especially young males. And so this is, religious people target certain people who are in power or have influence or have money. It's always been the way. It doesn't matter what religion it is, it's always the way, bro. And like cults, their main goal in cults is women and money, right? You can go back to what's his name, Charles Manson, right? Woman and money, right? Jim Jones, his own island thing, right? Woman and money. So this dude here, had like a $1 billion empire, and it was exposed, and they were shitting themselves back in Iran. My son is exposed. And you know what, people? What somebody said on Twitter about in regards to this? They don't talk about this shit. What they do talk about is what is that called? Israel. It's always about Israel. Netanyahu's son has got $100,000 a year, personal bodyguards, while he studies. 100,000. This dude's got $1 billion Iranian money, right? $1 billion compared to 100,000. There's not even like a cent, bro. And why wouldn't you want your son protected when he's overseas? Because if you're not, dude would be murdered, right? Because that's the way to get to the father, right? You go after the son. That's why these Muslims and Islamists, they go after the children of Westerners when they move overseas, and they're women. To brutalize them, to brutalize and abuse the children is the way to harm the man's mental health, to destroy their futures. So let me continue playing this little thing. I despise these people so much, bro.
None of the assets reportedly appear directly in his name. Many are linked to Iranian businessman Ali Ansari, who the UK sanctioned last October. Ansari denies any financial or personal ties to him and says that he will challenge the sanctions. Now, there is little sign of personal luxury or proof that the family has used foreign assets to fund lavish lifestyles, reportedly, but reports of this hidden wealth coming at a time when many Iranians face poverty. The country has been facing unrest, deadly protests.
She meant poverty. It's the Indian in her. Just can't pronounce it right. She means poverty, right? While many Iranians face poverty, right? And this is what Westerners don't understand. A lot of Americans don't get it. That these guys are virtually starving. Do you know they're running out of water? The entire country is running out of water, dude.
That's kind of like North Korea.
Yes. So, since I'm talking about that, let me find Iran runs out of water. right? Because this was like last year. So let me play this, and I'll play this video all the way through because it's only about 2 minutes long, right? This is from Reuters. So
Iran is grappling with its worst water crisis in decades, with officials warning that Tehran, a city of more than 10 million people, may soon be uninhabitable if the drought continues. President Masoud Pezeshkian
oh yeah, by the way, I think that this dude is got done as well. He's out. He's like,
Oh, they killed him too?
yep, he was right next to the other guy, Khamenei. You know,
Oh.
Khamenei in Hindi is like an enemy. It's kind of like Khamenei. Khamenei is like means enemy. Yeah, but yeah, the president, right? So yeah, I think the president and the Supreme Leader.
You're right next to the guy who gets wasted.
They were having a meeting.
Oh,
There was about 30 of them or something. They were having a meeting, dude.
cautioned that if rainfall does not arrive by December, the government must start rationing water in Tehran, and even then, citizens may still need to evacuate the city. But Iran's water crisis is not solely the result of low rainfall. Decades of mismanagement, including overbuilding of dams, illegal well drilling, and inefficient agricultural practices have depleted reserves. That's according to dozens of critics and water experts who spoke to state media in recent days.
Do you see where the line is, dude? This is where the water level should be.
holy shit.
Yes. That's the water level line where it should be. This is the entire country, right? So it's Tehran, which is their capital. And I think I'll play the longer one after this because this is what I mean. Like Westerners don't understand what led to this final revolution after 47 years, right? And these people just destroyed the country, dude. They sponsored global terrorism.
Mismanagement sparked protests over water shortages in both 2018 and 2021. The government has blamed the crisis on various factors such as the policies of past governments, climate change, and overconsumption. The water shortage is straining citizens already struggling under the weight of a crippled economy.
If the government had the capability, it wouldn't have let things reach this point. You know, they shouldn't have allowed it to come to this. What is the government?
Remember, dude is living overseas with $1 billion. They could have gone into infrastructure, right? And that's just one person, by the way. Right? All the top heads are probably doing the same. Like they founded their Bitcoin. They were moving billions of dollars, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars using
It looks
Bitcoin.
like he could be played by Christopher Lloyd.
True. Doc, right? Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That or
It's supposed to do.
Christopher Walken.
Oh, I would go with Walken more. Yeah, I would go with Walken. Maybe Defoe as well, but definitely Walken.
Definitely Walken. Give him a mustache.
Yeah.
It's the same managers. What do they expect them to do? They don't even make use of experts.
State media said that Iran's national water and wastewater company has dismissed reports of formal rationing in Tehran, but confirmed that nightly water pressure reductions were being applied and could drop to zero in some districts. The public has been urged to install storage tanks, pumps, and other devices to avoid major disruption. The capital depends entirely on 5 reservoirs fed from rivers outside the city, but experts say they are only half full and could run dry within 2 weeks at current consumption levels. The crisis extends far beyond Tehran. Nationwide, 19 major dams, roughly 10% of.
Remember, this was 3 months ago. So by December, the waters were. And here's the other one. Look at that from the sky, dude. Look at the water line there. That's a water line, right? And how green it is. That's sort of. I think that happens when it's algae starts forming because of the heat.
You mean like toxic algae?
Yeah, and then the water becomes, well, you can't drink it.
Well, they probably need like some kind of water treatment plant or something.
Dude, they did this to them. The government, the IRGC, did this to themselves. And there's this longer videos you can watch, but I'm going to play this other 5-minute one before we go to the next one. So these people have been in power for 47 years. There's been nobody else in power for half a century, dude. They have all the money from the people. They have all the taxes. They have all the oil revenue, right? They also have money from Obama, right? Obama, if I remember right, he gave $8 billion of American money, American taxpayers' money, right? Let me just get Grok on board here. I did ask Grok about where is it? Give me a second. So how much money did Barack Obama give Iran? Because I remember it was like what, I think it was about $8 billion, dude. From my memory serves me right. No, it wasn't 8 billion. Okay. He unfroze, right? 1.7 billion in Iranian assets as part of the 2016 nuclear deal settlement. Right? Released 400 million in cash plus 1.3 billion in interest as a legal settlement from pre-1979 arms deal.
And what did we get in return for unfreezing that money?
Well, you got death of American citizens, right?
Oh, well, that doesn't sound good at all.
But the leftists say that was okay. But the leftists said that was okay, bro.
Well, the leftists are normally stupid people.
Well, I'll show you what one leftist with the big huge platform said. Let me backtrack a bit. Let's move out of this one. We come back to the waters in a minute. They're basically going to end up killing their people by through thirst. So listen to this cow. Remember this cow who got the whole Russiagate all over Trump?
That looks like a bird.
A turkey?
Oh yeah, I mean look at the size of that honker. She could like peck somebody's eyes out with that nose.
Gobble gobble?
Yeah, gobble gobble.
Like a certain throat goat?
Ew. That's even worse.
Yeah. So this is a news person, right? A news person. This is what she says, dude.
Good afternoon. I'm Rachel Maddow. It is 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and you are joining MS Now's ongoing coverage of the United States having apparently started a war with Iran for some reason.
For some reason.
37
like missiles being pointed at us.
37,000 people have died in Iran uprising against their mullahs, their Islamist dictators. 37,000
Well, it
since,
started why we
since
all
December.
went on them, if I may say.
Carry
It's
on, bro.
because they had missiles that were aimed at a certain number of American cities.
Yeah. And they also had them aimed at everybody else. Dubai got hit in the last 24 hours. Qatar got hit, and Qatar were their friends. Saudi Arabia got hit. UAE, United Arab Emirates, who we talked about last time, who were pulling their students out of UK because they're afraid of their Muslim students becoming radicalized into going back home and killing their own people, right? Or going overseas and killing other people. So the UAE stopped sponsoring scholarships for their students to go study in UK. They want them to go elsewhere, but the UK. So if this clown on the left is basically propagandizing her audience, right? She should have been fired over Russiagate, because that was a 24/7 thing, right? 7 days a week. Because I don't pay much attention to American anchors and news reporters. I pay attention to the news.
Are you bringing up the fact that they tried really hard to push that Russian collusion thing?
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. That was stuff that was never proven, and they didn't really kind of bring it up again after it was. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was the main leader when it came to the news channels. It was her go-to, right? Because
Pretty
I remember,
much.
yeah. I remember that. It's kind of like cemented in my head, because I remember her going so hardcore after Trump on that, and it was like, why has this lady got such a hard on for that? Like, and it's like, it was crazy. But here she is, like, propagandizing her audience. Oh, we don't know why America is going to war with, dude, because the Iranian people since December have been asking for a savior, for America to come and save us. Young kids were going, Trump, come save us. But the problem is they don't show that on the news, because the news is mainly controlled by the left. Oh, by the way, CNN just got bought out by a conservative or a Republican billionaire. Did you know that? CNN.
Yeah, I heard some.
Yeah.
I'd say we went at them because they were going at us first. It's just that it's a happy coincidence that the Iranian people were wanting this. So it's a win-win situation for them.
That's true, man. And like they sacrifice so much, dude. And here these people are going, where we don't want Americans to die, but like Americans are always going to die when it comes to Islam, because their goal is to kill everybody or make them become Muslims. That's it. It's in the Quran. That's their goal. It's like, what's the end game? Well, that's the end game when it comes to Islam. You either become a Muslim or you die.
Exactly.
Right? So there is no in between. Or you become a slave to them. But still, would you like, what is it like? Would you like to be a slave to him under Islam?
No, I wouldn't.
And these people on the left, bro, they lie anyway.
Oh, they I don't know. I think they don't even know what they believe. They're just told to believe a certain thing, and they do it.
But these people at the top, they know. The mouthpieces know. but they want power, right? Some people will do some people will actually do things just to stay in power, and like like shoot the president. Well, while he's running, former president, while he's running for the new presidency. Because I think that's all they care for is power. I mean, for 50 years, bro, I mean, almost a century, at 47 years, these people stayed in power in Iran, and they virtually were about to kill their people through thirst, through lack of water. So let's go back to the water thing. Let me remove that, because this is why it'll be, this was serious. This is what the Iranian people saw, that like, we don't even have water, right? If we're not going to have water, how the hell are we going to survive? Look at this, Tim. This is a river, bro.
Yep, just completely dead. They'd have to if they force out their old government, they're gonna have to find a way of bringing in more water or something.
Yeah.
Maybe making a deal with a neighboring country to let in their water.
Well, that's the thing. See, now
you have to change the landscape.
I think a lot of water will be coming in, because, see, everybody wants, and here's the thing, everybody in the Middle East was afraid of Iran because Iran was going for nuclear. Iran was like basically bullying them, right? And this is what a lot of people don't understand, how the guy with the big gun is always going to threaten the guy with no gun or the small gun. So Iran was the cannon in the Middle East. We got ballistic missiles, and they showed it like yesterday, man. Last 24 hours, right? They were dropping missile bombs everywhere across the Middle East. And here's the thing, I'm going to play a video later about it, where China was actually showing off what they were giving Iran to blackmail and threaten the other nations. It just got exposed. Well, but it's more compiled now. A video was just put out compiling what they were doing. But anyway, let's play this one. So look at this water, bro. There's no water. This is a friggin' one of the main rivers.
There should be water up to that white line in the rock. But 5 successive years of drought in Iran have left this reservoir near empty. And the city it serves, Tehran, could soon be forced to empty too.
اگه بخواد ادامه پیدا کنه فکر نمی‌کنم کسی بخواد زندگی کنه دیگه تو کرج و تهران. شروع میشه به حرکت به سمت جاهای سرسبز و پرآب. من خودم وقتی آب نداشته باشم میمونم، امکان نداره بمونم.
Climate change is part of this story, but for many Iranians this is the result of man-made political failure. And speaking out against the hardline regime carries risks, which is why we're concealing their identities.
برای اینکه علم ندارن، برای اینکه سواد ندارن، برای اینکه شعور ندارن، برای اینکه همیشه بوده ندید و نبوده رو ندیده بودن. علم اینکه این تموم میشه رو نداشتن.
Imagine not being able to speak up about the fact that you don't have any water in your country.
5 years of drought? What the actual heck?
Mm-hmm. And they didn't have the knowledge to predict that it could run out. Sorry, I talked over you, Tim. Carry on.
I was going to say, how do they expect to get water after 5 years of drought after all this? They'd have to find some way.
Yeah. But here's what... They didn't have the knowledge to predict that it could run out. This is what's happening in China as well. They don't have the knowledge. right? People think that China is this superpower, so technically advanced. The only reason they're technically advanced is because 30 years ago, the West said, you know, we're doing well here. Yeah, we're doing well here. And China said, we got lots of people, bring your technology here and we'll make it for you cheap. And the West went, okay. And then they stole all the technology and bribed people. And then the people on the left were going, the communists were saying, yeah, we'll just give it to you free, bro. You don't even have to pay us just so we can, because we hate our country of America. We want to be under communism. We don't like our freedom. You know, we want to be controlled. Here, take this technology. Yeah, but the leftists, bro, the commies, they love being controlled.
Oh, that's why they've never had it. And when they have it, then they'll be like, "Well, I'm being oppressed. You wanted this."
Yes, that's why I always say most Westerners have no clue about the reality outside their little navel-gazing communities, their little ideologue groups. See, in Fiji, there was 2 coups. And every time it got worse for everybody else. And the country almost destroyed itself. In the 80s and in the 2000s. 20 years apart. See, when you don't educate yourself about other places, you have a sort of lack of understanding about what could happen to yourself, to your own country, right? Like these people, right? Because we've always had water, and so the leaders thought we'd never run out. Well, you live in the friggin' desert, right? You got to have infrastructure to make sure that it's one thing that you will always run out in the desert because of the heat is water. And these guys had 50 years to make sure everything was good. Half a century, bro. I can't even, it's like, it's almost as long as I've been alive that they've had the run of the country. From one leader to the other with the same Islamic mentality of corruption, of dictatorship, of abuse, of violence, of control. Little girls couldn't even play music or listen to music outside. Western music, that is. They couldn't even sing their own cultural songs because the Islamists took over their music as well, over their culture. They stopped letting them dress their own Persian cultural art and shit. It's like there's so much they took over, bro. It's like, that's why communism and Islam is the same friggin' mentality. Control, power and control. Dude, did you see that, bro? Let's just go for yeah. Look at that. This is just for 3 months ago. Where do you think this water line is now?
Rainfall whatsoever?
No. You know you can live without food for at least 40 days.
Yeah, but how long can you live without water? You're
about 3.
Water.
About 3. If I remember right, it's 3. Because I fasted before. Let me see. How long can a person live without water?
For now, life goes on, but Tehran is on edge. The bottles are piling high, the water trucks queuing up. An ancient city of 10 million people facing an existential crisis, with the regime considering the unprecedented step of evacuating the capital.
اگر باران نباره ما در تهران در آذر ماه باید جیره بندی کنیم. تازه معلومه جیره بندی کردیم اگر بازم نباره که دیگه اصلا آب نداریم. باید تهران رو خالی کنن.
That rain has not come. And so the rationing has begun.
See, Allah didn't send rain. These people are so devout. They kill people who oppose them, oppose their God, right? Their devil, right? These Satanists oppose anybody who believes in any other religion or anybody who wants to be free. So they terrorize them. State-sanctioned global terrorism. And they pray to Satan, and Satan sends them no water. Right? But they keep praying. They keep oppressing. They keep abusing. They keep raping children. Right?
People are collecting water.
Oh, and also killing and murdering gay people. But leftists don't think that's true.
Of course, they're very selective on what they're outraged about.
Very much so. Very much so. Kind of reminds me of another person. Kind of that throat dude. He's very selective. He's like always outraged about a black dude who's better at comics than he is.
In the day ahead of the...
Sorry, Tom?
If you grew up in Washington, there's something called the Lame List. And it'd be, all these guys from famous bands, and they'd name something, and they'd go, lame!
Okay.
What they're outraged about, it's almost like something on the Lame List.
Oh, right.
Yeah, something that...
so it's like...
what's weak this week?
Right. Oh, it's like when people say gay, it's gay, right? In the old days.
Yeah,
right.
That was just like the Lame List. What's weak this week? It's kind of like what they're upset about. It's like, what are we upset? What are we upset about this year?
Yeah.
Taps running dry at night.
We have to wash the clothes by hand now because the washing machine is not working. Because there isn't enough water coming in. Right?
Oh. Maybe she'll have to use her sweat and finish, make it sweat on some kind of towel or something and squeeze it into the washer.
But
probably won't work.
I mean they would rather. I mean, at that point, they would rather drink their water, right?
Oh, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
For this mother with 2 young children, life has become difficult. The water pressure reduced, the hot water gone, help from the authorities non-existent.
Okay, for those people who are listening, it's better to watch because I don't want to stop every couple of minutes to read the subtitles. But she says here, we even have to fill the toilet tank by hand. It feels like we've gone backward 40 to 50 years. You know what she means there? We had it better under the king.
Yep.
But these people chose Islamists. They chose the Arabs over their own Persian king. Because here's the thing that people don't understand. The Islamists who are currently overrunning their country and ruling it for the past 47 years are Arabs from Africa. It's a different ethnicity of people. But Iran is Persian. Right? They speak Farsi. But the Arabs speak Arabic. Total different language. Different people group. Yet, the communists got in there and then hand in hand with the Islamists, overran the country. But the king didn't want to go and fight against his own people. So he said, okay, I'm going to go. You take over. You live under. Sorry, bro, what'd you say?
That sounds like a big mistake.
They made the mistake, and the king said, well, that's what you want, right? Have it your way. And 50, like she says here, it's like it feels like we've gone backward 40 to 50 years. And as soon as this revolution started, I said, this is your last chance. I posted on social media and I said, this is the last chance for Iran to win and get their life back.
So if they push him out, what do you think they'll replace it with?
They have the opposition party, right? So they have groups of Democratic leaders. They have the entire country, apart from like 30%, or even like maybe about 15%, who is the Islamists, right? Who are the IRGC. It's very small amount of people that actually have the power. I like want this Islam, dictatorship, because most of the country. Oh yeah, it's easy. They've got like their names are on a list. Those people who are like controlling the country, their names are on a list, bro. Let me see if let me segue to the list. Is this the list? Yep, this is the list. So this is a list of, come on now, a website. Have it open? Is it down? Okay, well, it's not opening for me. I think because of fire, because it's based in Iran, it is down. Apologies, guys, but when it comes back up, when it does come back up, go check it out. Right here is the website. This is the list of all the hired mercenaries by the government that were out there killing the Iranian people, shooting them point blank in the head on the streets. There's a list of all the politicians who were supporting that, who actually paid for that. This was set up about 2 months ago. I was there when I was watching a live stream where the guy was saying, the creator of that website was on there. One of them, I should say, was on there saying, we have all these pictures. We have all their details. We remember what they did to us. We will not let them get away with it. We will bring them to justice. There's an old story I read, dude, that I included in a novella that I wrote like a couple of years back. It was like about 20 years back when I was a couple, right? 20 years back, around about 2004, maybe 2003 too. I was writing a story called Cora's Journey, and it was part of 420-page short, stories. So each one was like about a movie length, right? And while I was writing it, I read about, I think I was on the third book. I've never released it. Like the first one, I did kind of like have it like for free on a website, but I've got it somewhere, I think, or maybe I haven't. I don't know. It's probably in some of the external drive. One of the stories is from Arabia, right, from Persia, and it talks. And I included that in the. Let me get rid of the screen, right? And the reason I'm telling you the story is about revenge, right? So what happens is that one person from another tribe, another village, attacks and kills this this other tribe's person, right? So the two tribes get together, and the chief or the killer's father and the killer's the murdered, the murdered's father, person's whatever, victim's father, right? They sit back to back. I don't remember. It's like 2 decades ago, right? So what happens is that they sit back to back and they talk. One person will talk, and then the other father, one father will talk, then the other father will talk, and then they'll come to a decision. And so in this story, I don't know how real it is or how, but I listened to this person from the Middle East talk about it, right? And about this story from the past. Maybe it's all bullshit. I don't know, but I remember it, and I thought, what an interesting thing, right? I mean, when I heard it, so I included it into my story. And what it was like, we will not take revenge on your son for this murder, because blood for blood, life for life, right? And so what happened was, then the father goes, well, your son will carry my son's body on his back until that body has rotted away and falls off, and then he's free of that sin, right? So I remember writing that into the novella, and I think it was the third novella that I wrote, right, that had that story in it, where one of the characters basically harms, this other character's loved one. And so the tribe decides, because it's a kind of like a primitive story that I based it in, villages and all that, kind of like a hunter-gatherer thing.
Sounds like a morality tale.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's good. I think you nailed it, bro. So, yeah, so he said basically, until that body drops off your back, rots away, then you will be free of it. And this is kind of what is going to happen to all these people who have tortured, abused, maimed, raped family members of Iranian people, who have disappeared their children, who have disappeared dead bodies so that their parents couldn't mourn over their children or their loved ones for almost a century. Some of them don't even know where those kids are, or where those family members are, husbands, wives, brothers, grandparents. And this is what Iran had to live with for 47 years. Americans go, oh, why are we fighting? Why are we saying? Because with Iran's IRGC, right? Islamic Imperial Guard, whatever they call it, right? And their rulers, their dictators, not only their people aren't free, but the entire Middle East has been living on what they call walking on eggshells, right? And everybody looks at Israel as like, oh, that's Israel's fault. But Israel and Iran have been friends for centuries. So why, when Israel becomes a target and seen as an enemy, well, that's because it's propaganda, right?
I mean,
so
Israel and the Arabs have been killing each other for a long time, and I don't think we're going to resolve it anytime soon.
Oh no, you hit the nail on the hammer, bro, or the hammer on the nail. Arabs, You didn't say Persians. The Persians are Iranians,
Right.
right? So Arabs are the Muslims,
Right. That's what I
Islamists.
was saying.
Yeah. So there's a difference in that. So here's the earlier I mentioned about the propaganda. So here's a $20 million. God, that's so loud. Was that too loud for you, man? Let me, I think it didn't even show up. So let me bring this up. So this is, let me bring this down a bit. Bushra Sheikh. So that's not, that's not, that's not an English name or an Israeli name, right? So
hit that play button. There was a video that showed like all these countries in the Middle East before the Arabs took over, what their dress code was actually like.
Yeah, well, it was basically this. This is what Iranians were dressing like before the black cloth took over.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can. So pro IRGC influencer tries filming. Remember I mentioned about influencers and how they get paid? So this is I can't hold on. Let me play this through. Hopefully it's not too loud.
I have walked this entire rally in the middle of Iran without a hijab on.
Today, we have a major scandal to expose that warrants a prompt investigation in the US and UK into Western influencers who are shilling for the Islamic Republic of Iran, going on influencer trips to sanitize the regime's image after their massacre of their own citizens. Here's what we know. In 2023, the Islamic Consultative Assembly approved a cultural budget provision authorizing the Islamic Culture and Relations Organization to enter into contracts with foreign nationals for up to $20 million. Yeah, $20 million for the promotion and marketing of the regime. In November 2024, the Tehran municipality even admitted that it paid for a delegation of 12 foreign influencers, covering hotel and travel expenses. While one of these vile individuals on the current trip is Pakistani British Islamist Bushra Sheikh. Now, Bushra is a Hamas fangirl, and she's publicly described activists tearing down posters of kidnapped Israeli hostages as heroic. She advocates for Sharia law openly while living in the United Kingdom, where she benefits from the protections of a secular democratic system and does not herself wear a hijab.
I know what loads of you are thinking. You're thinking, how is she in the middle of Tehran at that square without her scarf on? Nothing has happened to me. Nobody has abused me. Nobody has said a single thing to me about my hair being uncovered. And that for you, my friends, is the reality of.
Yeah. Remember last time, a couple of weeks ago, I showed you that young girl who was just there minding her own business with her family.
Right.
And this old lady was tearing at her hair because she wouldn't have her hair covered.
Yep.
And she's here in Tehran, right? In the middle of it. In this rally, and see all the old lady and the man was looking at her, and behind her, right in front of her, I should say, and behind the camera that's recording it would be her minders saying, "Just carry on, walk along. This is propaganda. You just walk along, buddy. Don't even think about anything." They do this in China as well, man.
Yep. Hopefully she gets her channel taken away.
Yeah, well, her money's going to be cut off soon because, well, unless they cut off all the IRGC politicians' monies, it's going to continue because money's power, all right? And which reminds me, I'll probably straight after this remind me to play the UK cabinet calling for, what is it, for the Brits to get involved in helping Iran, the IRGC. the Muslims and the political politicians, Muslim politicians in Iran. In the UK. I have it. Hopefully, I have it saved because sometimes I forget to bookmark it. Yeah, I don't bookmark it. But anyway, let's play this.
News when it's brought to you live from the country, especially when you have been propagandized for a long time by Western media. And that is simply not true.
Absolutely delusional, not to mention a slap in the face to all of the women of Iran who have suffered under the morality police. Just disgusting. If she received travel or accommodation.
Let me
What was her name again?
Bushra.
Bushra?
Let me Bushra, where is it? Don't I can't see it. Hold
Bushra
on.
Khan?
Give me 1 sec. I need to shrink this and then go. Here she is. Wait, I think it's there. Sheikh. Bushra Sheikh.
Oh.
Yeah. So imagine being paid to be a propagandist and then saying that you are being propagandized. Like the goal of it, while living under in the democratic country of UK, not having to have your not having to cover your hair out of fear that you're going to be beaten up on the street by other women, right, and men, but mostly women, because gosh, like I said at the start, bro, women hate more. Sorry, no one hates women more like women, right? More. Man, I just can't get the wording out.
Interesting.
So
when did she go over there and do this?
2024, I think it was.
2024.
Actually, no, might have been more recently.
You think? She's kind of cut down her videos with Yeah, there's not an awful lot of videos. She has something from a year ago. She has something from 2 years ago. She doesn't have that video.
Maybe she took it down when there was a backlash over it. I guess her, people realize that like she's, propagandist.
Yeah, her recent video is from like 3 weeks ago.
Was she crying?
She got two. She's got 2 videos from 3 weeks ago. That's about it. Epstein Files, Muslim Perspective, Donald Trump and his ego in the best. Ego is the best thing for politics.
Oh man. Let me find this UK thing because I think gosh, it's gonna showcase. Remember how I always I don't always say, but I said earlier that like how oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, right? I mean the ending of this whole that fatwa, and we moved on, and let's get back to that fatwa. So, and then I wanted to read something from the UK thing. So this guy said he's one of the grand leaders of the IRGC, the Arab people who have been terrorizing the Persians in Iran for the last 47 years. He goes, call it vengeance against America a religious duty for every Muslim worldwide. And of course, in Austin, as I mentioned, in the last 24 hours or last 12 hours, a Sinhalese from Singal right? A black dude from Senegal, Africa, went in and shot into a nightclub and shot 3 people after praying on his Quran and injured others. 7 others, if I remember right, were injured. That's in the last 12 hours. So one of them did that. And then, of course, in Pakistan, Karachi, if I remember right, that's where Karachi is, they attacked the American consulate, right? So there's a big, huge warning across the world by the American government, in case you guys haven't heard, if you're watching this from elsewhere and you're American, don't go out. Or be careful where you go. See someone who looks like this dude, you know, with a big beard, with a turban, or, you know, looks sus, get in your car, go home. Because these people are bloodthirsty animals. And, you know, animals only know how to behave like an animal. So reply. Yeah, let me see if I got the reply on this one. UK. Oh yeah. Just another thing. Pope Leo wants Christians and Muslims to become friends. Christians, Muslims must live together and be friends. Fuck off. Is this who you want to be friends with? This man.
He's Catholic.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Father Michael must have really done a number on him.
Maybe. Must be. But of course, like I said here, yes, he would like to look sorry. Yes, he would. I'm sorry. Let me read his thing. Comment. Radio Genoa. Pope Leo wants Christians and Muslims to become friends. Christians, Muslims can live together and be friends.
No.
Yes. Yes, he would. After all, the pedos ahead. They can also excuse and welcome all the Muslim pedos too. So here's something else. All right. So this clown head, right? Iranian commanders say missiles fired today were from old stockpiles. Warns more advanced weapons will be revealed soon. Yes, the smartest thing. I hate reading my own shit, but I was like, let me do this. Yes, the smartest thing to do when someone drops bombs on you, you throw old, tired, rusty ones back first. You know, usually you throw out the, you know, like, you know, that story about the wine in the Bible, you know, they run out of wine. And so they want to give them like the watered down stuff, and that's all they got left. And then Jesus goes, you know, get me some water, right? Fill the jars with water.
Funny you say that, because that was actually something we talked about in church today. The story is that there was not enough wine at this celebration, and so his mother Mary tells Jesus to, you know, well, basically she tells the people who are in charge of it, listen, do whatever my son tells you. And Jesus says, fill up all those pots with water, and they're the kind for, like, I think they were like these pots for washing feet or something. And he turned them all into wine, something like that.
Yeah, earthen jars. So ceramic jars, like in those old days, they had these. I mean, they don't have glass bottles or something like that, but they had earthen jars.
Let me double check that. You continue talking.
Yeah, so this dude, like, he goes, you know, we didn't fire the good stuff first. We're gonna fire the technological, you know, advanced things later, right? So when you go to war, you put your best foot forward, right? But Iranians are backwards. This is what I mean. These guys are like, Islamists are backwards people, man. You know, they like to dress fancy, like commanders and all this, but really they're brain dead. You know why? Because they marry their cousins. They actually marry their cousins, bro. Something that is outlawed in the West, because we know diseases and genetic degradation happens. But no.
Oh, correction. Their guests washed their hand. Okay, they're for washing hands. I'm sorry.
Right.
There was stone jars used for Jewish purification, holding 20 to 30 gallons.
Right.
All right. My apologies. I didn't want to speak wrongly.
That's all right. Yeah, I thought it was jars. So here's another thing, right? This is the Chinese. So the Chinese Communist professor claims if the U.S. attacks Iran, Iran will wipe out Israel in 30 minutes. And the thing is that China has been supplying Iran with weapons, and for a long time, they're best buddies. But that they've also supplied weapons. Those weapons end up being sent to Hamas and Hezbollah in Gaza to be used against Israel. So Chinese people last year, when this was happening, when they found out, they said, why is our country involved in fighting Israel? Israel's done nothing against us. And it's like, why are you supporting these terrorist people killing other people when they have done nothing to us, Chinese? Right? Here, this is the one I was after. We're here. So, like I said, no matter where they live, Muslims will always turn against you. Right? So, Liza Rosen just says they're not against war. They just hate it when Jews win. So Muslim MPs calls on UK to declare war on Israel. This is like September last year. This is even before the uprising. Right? Do you think these it's weird that he's one of them too. He's a lefty, of course, but this is what happens. They will turn against you, all right? Eventually, it's in their blood. It's in their brain. It's Here's another one. Look at this clown ass. I remember I told you about Sneeko, and we've talked about Sneeko.
Inshallah, he gets the highest ranking job.
This little black dude living in America in the freedom, right? Wearing a Von Dutch hat, right? Cap and his hoodie. Enjoying the freedom of an American in the West, in a democratic country with all the morals and freedoms of a democratic country and the protections. He is crying for an evil bastard, right? Who's been running the country to the ground, killing children, ordering for the death of children, of women.
Is that Sneeko?
Yeah, that is Sneeko. This is the part I was telling you about earlier about what he did to, how he was crying over this. And this is a video clip about this. Sneeko, who basically sold out his entire audience, right? Right. And entire followers to Islam, because more money. Because in Islam, you get more bitches, right? Because you can have up to about 7-8 wives, right? Let me just make a correction on that. Like in Shia Islam, how many wives can you have? Because this is what it is, right? You can have wives, you can have slaves, right? Slave woman.
He can be just like Muhammad. He can get in his creepy van and travel around playgrounds.
He doesn't have to, dude. They'll bring the kids to them. To him.
Of course. My bad.
Yeah. He has a choice of boys and girls, though, because that is Islam. In Shia Islam, how many women can a man have? I said, you know, I don't want to say wives because they don't have to be a wife. So let's play this while we get the answers.
But it's a reminder that this life is short. And so Khomeini, if he did die, if you died in this act, especially during the holy month of Ramadan, inshallah, he gets the highest rank in Jannah and he gets eternal paradise. He gets the highest rank, he gets martyrdom. That's the highest achievement we can get. But it's a reminder that this life is short. And so Khomeini, if he did die, if you died in this act, especially during the holy month of Ramadan, inshallah, he gets the highest rank in Jannah and he gets eternal paradise. He gets the highest rank, he gets martyrdom. That's the highest achievement we can get. But it's a reminder that this life is short. And so Khomeini.
So I'm going to mute that. And let me see if I can get like
Shauna Now, you mean like the musical television show?
He's talking about heaven, but it's actually hell.
Oh.
Right? That's where he's going.
So
and
it's not talking about
that's where he's
Shauna,
going. No, not the TV show or the song. So his own audience is roasting him. He goes, why is Iran too scared to attack US bases in Turkey? Right? And 70 virgins. Is this facts? Never heard that. You get 70 virgin goats. If you go to Atheist Republic, you'll hear them say goats. They get goats, 70 virgin goats. So our take, yep, he's saying loser take, right? Bro, just be yapping retard shit 24/7. All right. That's why the guys dancing in a bunker are shitting themselves deep down. They literally wear diapers. Yeah. See, even his own audience know he's full of shit. Right? Now you got dead school kids. This is, of course, on Kick, I think. Rest in peace, Khomeini. Doesn't even know how to spell his name. You think that presidents, leaders should be doing that? What? Killing evil bastards who are killing civilians? 35,000 of them since December.
Yeah, shalom.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Someone said, "Do you think they should be doing that?" Yes, sir. Instant paradise, no judgment. I think double check me. Why are they crying? Why is he even crying when he's going to heaven? Right? Because they believe like when you die for doing, Islamic things, you get martyred, so therefore you go to heaven. Why are they crying? You should be laughing, joyful, singing, dancing. They fear death, yet Allah's promise will envelop them. Allah promises death to them and they'll be held. Motherfucker, this is who died. He dead. And his president dead. He goes, facts.
They never said the 72 virgins would be human.
Yeah, that's why I said they're goats. Yeah, and so he goes, Yi thinks he's God too. Is he talking about Yi? Or yes thinks, or is he talking about like Kanye? Sneeko, Vitali is Jewish and doesn't talk about Palestine. He also had a Vitali is in so much trouble. He's going to be sent back to friggin' Philippines for what he did there. When Sneak, was it W Sneeko W Iran? Excuse me. Bro, just yapping retard shit 24/7. I think Mikey here is trolling him, copy pasting. Why are you praying for his soul, bro? He's already gone to heaven. Like, why are you praying for his soul? Right? The thing is, Islam is not the true mono. monotheistic, I guess they were talking about sellouts. He thinks he's got to another copy paste. Like they're just trolling this nut. Yeah, 2,000 religions, but mine is correct. Hamas. Wait, Hamas won? Did Hamas kill him? No, it was US. They dropped a friggin' bunker buster on his palace, on his mansion state. Oh, look. I'm not even gonna say this.
We tell them to shut up, you're a
Yeah.
pussy.
Facts. Alamadul. Oh no, another copy paste. Bro, just yipping again. He's just getting trolled, copy paste. How many people are watching him? So the same people. I wonder how many people lost because of this bullshit. Oh, no, that's the start of the thing again. Sorry, that's us through there. So, yeah. So this dude crying over this dude who just went to heaven according to their religion, right? Because he's a martyr for Allah, right? Oh, but here's another one. This is KFC for chickens for KFC.
Because
now I'm gonna play this through, and I usually always stop, but I will play this one through. All right.
I do feel like I get judgment from the queer community, but I have just recently reframed this, and I mean literally within the last week reframed this, right? Because for like, I would say like 6 to 7 years before putting on hijab, I was visibly queer, very visibly queer, right? And I was very intentional about that. And there's like a safety and a camaraderie that comes with being visibly queer in a space where there are other visibly queer people, especially when you're like living in the Midwest or living somewhere where queerness is not as widely accepted. There's almost like a sense of safety, even though you're not any physically safer. There's like a sense of safety. There's a sense of belonging. There's a sense of like, I don't even know the words, when you are in a space with other visibly queer people, right? And you see each other, you lock eyes, there's like this knowing look. And I've really missed that since putting on hijab. And it has been really hard. There are queer people who like give me a wide berth, give me a double take, give me, I wouldn't say nasty looks, like they're not intentionally giving me bad looks, but I can tell that internally they're like wondering if I'm judging them or wondering if I'm like cursing them under my breath or something, you know what I mean? And so this has made me really sad, and this has been really, really difficult until earlier this week. I saw a visibly non-binary person at the store, and even if they weren't visibly non-binary, they were wearing a crocheted cardigan in the non-binary flag. It was very evident. And they saw me, weren't sure how to react to me. And I wasn't even saying it to be like, oh, here, let me give them something positive to react to. I literally just thought that their cardigan was super cute. And so I was like, I love your cardigan. That's so cute. And they lit up entirely. They lit up and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. And I was like, yeah, of course. And I realized in that moment
to a roof party.
Hold on.
That instead of being judged by me, they were realizing that I was thinking something positive about them. In that moment, there was a possible reframe where they realized that somebody Muslim was not thinking negatively of them, but was thinking positively of them. And that alone might make them realize that not all Muslims are judgmental, not all Muslims are homophobic or transphobic. They don't need to know that I'm queer to realize that not all Muslims judge them. You know what I mean? That alone might make them more feel safer, feel more accepting of Muslims and Islam, feel any type of way where they don't feel as scared in public or they don't feel as judged in public, right? So now I'm stoked to see queer people in public and give them compliments and be like, I love you, you are awesome, and have them, instead of being afraid of me, go, oh, that person was not judging me at all. I'm so excited to reframe the way that people see visible Muslims into, oh my gosh, that person was really nice to me. You know what I mean? So I completely get what you mean. It is really discouraging and disheartening, and it's really hard. But I literally just this week learned to reframe this. So maybe this
to him?
Yes. Want me to read that? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I can't, man.
Bless this guy. He's converted to Islam and identifies as a queer trans Muslim woman. He says he is now on a mission to make queer people feel more accepted by Islam. What advice would you retarded.
Bro. This is my advice.
Quit being retarded.
No, this.
Dude's
Go on.
days are numbered. Keep posting, dude. Only way you'll see the true Islam is if you keep posting. Them also let them know who you.
Damn it.
Oh.
I got a typo. It's then.
Yeah. I know. I get what you're saying. Let them know where you.
Yeah. Well, he's already done it, right? Like, he's always said, was it Arkansas? Something like that.
What?
Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas.
Yeah. It's. I don't know, man. Some people just. Unless, like, I remember there was a judge. There was a judge who had let out criminals. Oh no, there's a judge who was going, oh, we can't, punish these black youth who would, give them longer sentences or whatever, got to let them out. And then she was robbed outside her house by two black kids, not teenagers, 20-year-olds, right? And she was not happy. She changed her mind straight away, very quickly. See, unless people are treated to the truth of the matter, they never change, bro.
I got it.
Yeah.
We need to get that person a ticket to Iran immediately.
Yeah.
Or maybe some other nearby, like how about Iraq? Or Afghanistan, or I don't know.
Well,
what's a real bad place in the Middle East?
Every place is a bad place in the Middle East for gay people. The only place as safe is Israel. That's the only place. And they hate Israel so much, though, because propaganda. So here's a gay dude. Here's a Arab in Palestine. When I saw the knife, I just lost it. Is the opening thing, sentence, whatever you want to call it. So let's have a listen to him. How do they treat LGBTQ?
יום שישי, בוא נלך לאיזה חבר, נשתת משהו, בוא נצא. אז אמר לי בסדר. אז בהתחלה היה בלפונים של מצלמות וזה. אז לא יודע, שתיתי והוא שתה והוא לא שותה. אז אנחנו שתינו, אני וחבר שלי שתינו, והתחלנו לעשות, כאילו, להתנשק, אז הבן אדם צלם אותי. ונכנסנו לחדר, עשינו קיצור סקס וכל מיני, הבן אדם מצלם, אני לא שמתי לב, אף אחד לא שמנו לב. לא יודע, פעם רבתי אותו, אז אבא שלי מתקשר אליי, הוא אומר, תבוא הביתה, צריכים אותך. אומר לי, יש לך תמונות שאתה מתנשק עם מישהו, ואתה עושים סקס וכל מיני. אז אני נדפק לה השכל. השתגעתי בקיצור. אמרתי לו, לא. אמר לי, רואים עליך, ואני איש אותך, ואתה לא תחזור לתל אביב, וזהו, אין לך מה לעשות. והיום סוף שלך. בקיצור, נסו לקשור אותי, ואחרי זה אבא שלי הביא סכין, באמת, אני ראיתי את הסכין, זהו, נגנב לי השכל. וידע, נשמה שלי, כאילו, יוצאת מהגוף שלי. כאילו, בן אדם, נשמה שלו, כאילו, מחזיקה את הגוף או משהו. אז כמעט צ'חט אותי, כמו כבש, כמו עז. ונגע לי בפנים. חטפתי מכה פה בפנים, כל הצלקת. וברחתי מהבית.
That's one. That's one dude. That's just one dude. Right?
Here is a video of a gay pro-Palestinian activist meeting up with a traditional Muslim pro-Palestinian activist in the UK, and it does not go well for the homo. Wow, she went with the guy who created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Well, I love it. I mean, it's just such a perfect juxtaposition. A woman who you can only see her eyes in an all-black outfit, shaming the peaceful, tolerant, diverse gay guy in the rainbow. I love everybody. Oh my God, they're beheading me. It's all so stupid. But that's the point, guys. What I'm trying to illustrate to you is that the spiritual war, in some ways, it's just sanity versus stupidity. And it's again what Joe Rogan talked about. It's like basic stuff. You can't steal our houses. And it's basic stuff. The gays shouldn't be in bed with the Islamists. And basic stuff that we all know. And let's not forget it. Let's not forget it. Let's remember it. How about that?
Another one.
Changing gears a little bit, and this is important to note. During the pro-Hamas protests this weekend, we noticed an odd flag showing up. It is the rainbow pride flag made to look like the Palestinian flag. Banners all over, and in many of these marches said, "Gays for Gaza."
See this motherfucker here? A white dude calling for the death of all Jews and ending of Israel while living in the freedom in America.
That's what I try to tell people. Like there's a certain extent where certain brands of conservatism and liberalism start having things in common.
Yeah,
and
dude.
that is they both hate Jews for completely different reasons.
Yeah. It's the same like with what was it earlier I said about Muslims and Islam and communists. They're the same mindset.
And some of the video you can decide for yourself is slightly odd, but we wondered if the people who were celebrating gays for Gaza might want to learn what happens to gays in Gaza. Hamas throws them off buildings or drags them behind motorcycles.
There you go. He's blurred it out. But that's a gay dude. Just take that and
Well,
do your
why my joke was, they'll invite you over for a roof party.
Yeah. Or a tarmac party, right? Or Tarsio party? What would you call that? A road rager,
Yeah.
Or a Daytona style bikie gathering.
You can see in this picture, we have blurred the body of a young gay man who is being dragged through the streets of Gaza. And it's not just Gaza. In the West Bank, a group beheaded this man, Ahmed Abu Mahroumin, who's a 25-year-old gay man. Odd that the Gays for Gaza group didn't march then. Nobody seemed to care much. Iran hangs gays systematically. Imams both in the West Bank.
And since we're talking about Iran, I mean, how apt, right? These two young guys basically hanging just for being gay. But America bad, Israel bad, the only place in the Middle East where you're allowed to be gay or lesbian. Isn't that strange, dude? That these clowns for Palestine, right, hate the very place that they're actually allowed to be free to do whatever they want, right, as adults. But they don't go, thank you for supporting our fellow brethren, right? But no, you know, we'll go for the other guys who killed them.
Yeah, it's retarded.
It's like if I was a Christian and I would go, and Americans allowed to be, you know, America allows people to be Christian, right? And I go, no, screw America, yay Iran, yay the Middle East, Muslims, Islamists, those terrorists, yay for them. It's crazy, bro. The mindset, it's the leftist mindset. Because our goals align, we'll support you. What is our goals? We hate Israel and we hate America. It's crazy, man.
Care much. Iran hangs gays systematically. Imams both in the West Bank and Gaza and on Arabic TV channels calls for the murder of gays daily. The irony of course, pretty rich, right? Hamas and the Palestinians look at gays and Jews about the same. They want to do the same to them that the Nazis did. They talk about them the same way. Yet some in the gay community in America are so blinded by their hatred for Jews, they side with the Palestinians who want to kill both gays and Jews. Speaking of hatreds for Jews, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is now finding anti-Semitism problematic. She put out a tweet, never mind that she spent the past 3 weeks all but supporting Hamas. She, of course, voted against the congressional resolution supporting Israel's right to defend itself. Tomorrow, there is this seismic shift inside the Democratic Party. Democrats who supported Hamas are getting worried. Thanks for watching. Go to
Leland Vitat. That's who that was. Now let's get away from that and get back to our water crisis for a bit as we wind down. Actually, no. Actually, let me get the Chinese involved. Because this one, we got to end on this one, Tim. Because let me see if I make sure I got the right one, because there's two Chinese links here. Is this one? Okay, I think it's this one. Yeah, I think. Wait. Yeah. So the weird thing is that for 3 months, there's been uprising and all this stuff in Iran, right? Yet it's like people, like foreigners, are there thinking nothing's going to happen. Like they felt like, well, you know, we're Chinese, they're our brothers. Our country's been giving them billions of dollars in weapons, and they've been giving us billions of dollars in oil and stuff in return. But now they're in a panic because now war's arrived. War that Iranian people have been asking for to topple their tyrannical dictators.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. A plane ticket costs over 3 million RMB. Because of the conflict between Iran and Israel, the flight from Damascus to Shanghai has skyrocketed to 3.82 million. I've never seen such an expensive ticket in my life.
On February 28th, as the US and Israel launched a large-scale airstrike named Epic Fury, Chinese nationals in Iran were thrown into a state of extreme panic. However, the most shocking news came from China's largest online travel platform, Ctrip, which listed flight tickets prices at 3.82 million RMB, which is 5,600,000 USD, immediately capturing the public's attention. Chinese social media platform exploded with activity, although the Chinese government quickly issued a denial claiming that the high ticket price was due to a back-end error by a supplier and the Ctrip merely facilitated the transaction without profiting. Many netizens expressed their skepticism. Comments included, if it's a Chinese airline, they'll do anything. This ticket price isn't meant for anyone to survive the journey. And if it's not a Chinese face or a Chinese passport, no one dares to touch it. Analysts pointed out that due to the ongoing airspace blockade in Iran and frequent airstrikes, many Chinese nationals there, in a desperate attempt to save their lives, are being forced to flee via land route through western Iran, bypassing Syria's Damascus to seek an exit. This inconvenient evacuation route has likely led to the out-of-control rise in ticket prices for flights from Damascus to China. Regardless of whether the 3.82 million RMB ticket is a result of a system error, the intense fear among Chinese nationals in Iran is undeniably real. The exorbitant ticket price reflects not just the scarcity of available flights, but also a collective anxiety among Chinese nationals who feel compelled to escape at any cost. Why are Chinese nationals in Iran so fearful? Observers suggest that this fear stems from China's extensive involvement in supporting Iran's repressive regime. Iran's theocratic government has relied on Chinese technology for surveillance systems, facial recognition, and internet censorship. Many Iranians have suffered due to these systems, with the common view being who taught the theocratic dictatorship how to suppress its people? China. Many East Asians walking alone on the streets are often mistaken for Chinese and attacked by locals, revealing deep-seated resentment that, in times of war, quickly erupts into violence. This blood feud has become one of the most unsettling factors behind the evacuation crisis. A Taiwanese netizen remarked that regardless of one's political views for personal safety, it's best to just say you're Taiwanese when abroad. They warned in Taiwan you might not need to apologize for your identity, but in Iran, once you're recognized as Chinese, you could be beaten to a pulp. If you don't believe it, just fly to Iran and introduce yourself as Chinese. See if your life is worth more than the beating you'll take. One netizen shared an experience from years ago when their friend tried to return to China during a political dispute between the US and China. Flights were cut, prices skyrocketed, and their friend's ticket to China cost $10,000. The netizen commented, Chinese airlines are often controlled by powerful Communist Party figures. On the surface, they may appear private, but they are really state-run, meaning when ticket prices suddenly spike, it's the party that profits. Another netizen noted, regardless of ticket prices, no civilian flights are taking off from Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, or Syria right now. So even if tickets show a high price, flights from Damascus to China aren't happening. So what is the reaction among Chinese mainlanders to the recent news of airstrikes on Iran? Following reports of a US-Israel airstrike on Tehran, the topic quickly soared to top of trending list across Chinese social media platforms. Keywords like Israel announces attack on Iran, mushroom cloud rises over Tehran, Iranian army commander killed, and massive traffic jams in Tehran flooded the feeds, and netizen expressed shock with phrases like witnessing history once again, attacking in broad daylight, and this is large-scale warfare. Some shared videos of Israel's Iron Dome intercepting incoming Iranian missiles, with comments noting, are the white spots successful interceptions? So efficient. CCTV didn't even broadcast this, afraid of losing face. One netizen replied, no matter how expensive the cost, nothing is worth more than human life. Are we in a distant country? Here, lives are worth less than a dog's.
This is Chinese people talking, right? Posting online. Here, lives are worth less than a dog's. But I thought China was advanced, amazing, rich, and powerful, right? But the local people are saying here lives are worth less than a dog's.
Yeah.
Others uploaded videos of airstrikes and missile interceptions describing the scene as spectacular. With flashing lights cutting through the night sky, commentators cheered, "Israel will win and Iran's people will soon be freed."
Like I said, Chinese people want to be free too from the communists. They've had enough. But leftists are like, but we shouldn't be involved in helping them. We shouldn't go in there and to save them, even when they beg. I mean, why should we bother? Well, what, do you want to let them kill 35,000 more people? And then to know that you could have done something and you didn't?
Official Chinese accounts also shared content about Iran's retaliation, with headlines such as "Iran begins devastating counterattacks" and "Iran strikes US military bases," flooding social media platforms. However, in a live broadcast, CCTV host Shui Junyi commented that Israel's and America's attack on Iran were like adults fighting children. He claimed Iran had no capacity to retaliate. When a commenter asked if there was any possibility the US military might fail in this operation, Sui hesitated before answering.
It all depends on how we define failure. Actually, Iran doesn't need to sink an American aircraft carrier. All they need is for one missile to get close to a US ship. Even just grazing the edge of a carrier, that would be considered a victory for Iran.
Clearly,
I'm going to take your king, but you're going to hit my pawn. Or is it the queen? It's the queen. It's the queen's the most powerful, right?
Okay. So we attacked them because they were threatening to launch at several U.S. cities, and they're saying, "Well, just all you gotta do is just graze them. That'd be a victory."
Yeah.
Like, no, that's just gonna intensify things. We're gonna launch that caused the U.S. government, the U.S. military, to launch even more shit at you.
But this is a guy who's like a expert, a Chinese expert on warfare. All you got to do is slap the dude while he cuts your throat, right?
That worked for the Japanese so well during World War II. Yeah. Oh man!
But this dude, like, this is the face of China's experts technology. It's like, but here's the thing: all that weapons and radar defense and all that Iran had, all that advanced technology, it was all Chinese made. And none of them worked. And guess who controls the sky? Israel. Who controls the ground? America. Right? With missiles, just boom, 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 boom. Targeted. And I was watching Tusi TV today, live streaming, and there were people watching. Actually, no. They were celebrating. Iranians were celebrating as they watched out their window as each of their dictators' compounds were taken, were destroyed out their window. And then I was watching Atheist Republic, also the host of that, Armin Navivi. He was saying, he was translating what was been going on. He was saying these people, Iranians there are cheering as the missiles drop on those compounds, on those mansions, on those political buildings, on the TV stations. Cheering. He's saying they're like calling it out, like they like commentating like it's a freaking soccer game, because they're so happy that America and Israel is coming to help them overthrow this regime who that's ruined their lives for generations of their lives for about almost half a century, bro. But this clown here is like, oh, just slap them in the face and that'll be a victory. Slap America and Israel in the face and there'll be a victory. While America puts a friggin' missile through your throat or through your heart. Dude, man, these guys, like, they live in fantasy. And this is the paper tiger that China is. Like, all that weapons, billions of dollars of weapons that they supply to Iran, bro. And they're still hiding in their bunkers out of fear. And the only thing they could do was let off some, you know, and actually, here's the thing. The other thing was that Iranians, people actually were saying, and this is live videos, videos they uploaded, right? This is like sending to trusted outlets, right? Like Atheist Republic, like to Tusi, like to Goldie, right? These actual Iranian pro-Iranian people, right? Themselves being Iranian, letting other people around the world, Westerners, know what is actually going on in the ground, mostly stuff that even mainstream media won't even play. And so one of them was like, let me see if I lost my thought there. This would say. So these people like filming saying, oh, we're so happy that the Israelis are, you know, they're shooting down these buildings. It's like, well, aren't you afraid you're going to hurt? They go, no. Israel is targeting specific buildings, specific areas. So we don't have to be afraid because Israelis, you know, they believe in the sanctity of life. And they do not target civilians. Iranians know that. They're freaking saying, hey, yeah, they're bombing everybody there. They're dropping missiles there, the drones and whatever, you know, flying overhead in their jets, dropping bombs. But we're okay. We're in our homes. Continue, please. And this is what I'm saying. Westerners have no fucking clue about the reality of other people around the world, other countries.
50 Cent Army, CCP paid online commentators, is very dissatisfied with his remarks, threatening in the comment section, why hasn't this person been put in jail yet? A netizen responded, isn't it obvious? Has the US military ever truly failed? Regarding the Chinese government's brainwashing and internet control, a very knowledgeable netizen said on the Douyin platform.
Iranian cybersecurity personnel can freely enter people's homes and search them. If they find Starlink equipment, the consequences are severe, but the people have their own tricks. They put the Starlink terminals in their cars and use the internet while driving. This way, the security...
This is how they get to reach out to the world. Did you have to do that to reach out to me today, Tim? Drive around in your car, bro? You know?
Nope. I can go to any establishment or any place that has Wi-Fi and use it freely.
So you don't have any government body come into your house and take your Wi-Fi, you know, destroy it, you know, basically pull it out of the wire, you know.
They don't send 4 guys to your house like the UK when.
Yeah, when you write something, you know, people that the government doesn't like online, or somebody else doesn't like online.
It always found kind of funny. You have people getting attacked on the street, and you send like 4 or 5 cops to someone's house because they posted something online. How dangerous do you think those people are?
Yeah, Tim is talking about the
Britain.
Britain, a video that we saw where Indian man was being Sikh S01E10 IHK, Sheik, or the other way, SIKH. It's an ethnic group, right, of Indians. And they're very highly religious, but very moral people, right? Upstanding people. And they were getting threatened by Muslims outside his UK restaurant. Groups of them, right? So, yeah, you don't have to walk around with this, drive around with a Starlink or have, I don't even know how big that shit is, right? Or modem or whatever. And
They
you
have
could
like
just,
a custom rigged into their car.
yeah, you just walk around with your phone and you can talk to me, talk to anybody around the world. And this is what I say. I keep needing to reiterate. People in the West don't know how it is for other people outside their own countries. These guys could get murdered on the spot, could be killed, taken away, beaten, tortured for having a Starlink link for internet.
People have their own tricks. They put the Starlink terminals in their cars and use the internet while driving. This way, the security forces' radio tracking vehicles can't pinpoint their exact location. This also proves that there are still prepaid SIM cards in Iran that don't require real name registration. Otherwise, they'd be identified and tracked within 10 seconds. Using
What he means by real name is that in China, you have to put your real name in every time you buy a SIM card so that you're registered with the government. So they can track you whenever they want. And they track you anyway, like 24/7, right? With all the millions of cameras that are around there, right? CCTV is everywhere. Like there's about I saw this thing that was like about 30 in one area. It was the craziest thing. I was like, wow. It was just like piled upon this pole, just like every direction.
Starlink is illegal in Iran, and even though it's banned, a large number of Starlink terminals have been smuggled into the country. It's estimated that there are over 50,000 Starlink devices in Iran right now. The authorities want to shut off the people's access to information, but they've failed.
A vlogger recently highlighted the contrasting situation between the Chinese government's mandatory real name registration for mobile phone cards and Iran's more relaxed approach, sparking widespread praise from netizens. One user commented, "How many countries still can't use Starlink?" Another mocked, saying, "Hello, Iranians. Shall we overthrow the privileged?" A third user proactively asked, "Which unit are you from? Report your number." Meanwhile, a mainland Chinese netizen uploaded a video from Iran with the headline breaking news. Khamenei beheaded by US military, Iran's streets erupt in celebration. The video featured an excited Iranian woman announcing Khamenei's death. Reports indicate that one of the first targets of the US-Israel joint operation was Khamenei's office in Tehran. Israeli officials have stated that the specifics of the strike's outcome remain unclear. However, the report suggests that Khamenei's palace and the surrounding area in Tehran were completely destroyed during the operation, with footage showing thick smoke rising from the site after the explosions.
Remember I said that China sold billions of dollars of weapons and defense units to Iran.
Yes.
And also Venezuela.
I think so.
And this was the outcome of it. That their leaders, both in Maduro's case and in Iran's case, right? Khamenei's, Ali's case, one ended up being taken hostage, kidnapped out of his own country with his wife, and the other one, and probably his boyfriend, right, the president, died next to him. Together they died, and they're now in Satan's kingdom, right, in hell. So this is what is making the Middle East laugh now, because they realize that what they're worried about, Iran, bro, was that was just a lie, because all that billions that they were using to threaten the neighboring countries is just falling apart on the first friggin' day. Even okay, so the ballistic missiles are going out, targeting civilians, but there hasn't been any like as dramatically as everybody thought it would be, because of Israel and America's months-long planning to, make sure that there weren't that many attacks, and if there was, like when you back a dog into a corner, they just like, this is what Iran's at the moment is, because they don't have a leader, because they all saw him as a supreme leader, right? So he's not there anymore. Now they're just gone lashing out, but also they're escaping as well into neighboring countries. But like I said, there's a website based in Iran that has a list of all these people that are escaping and are leading there. You were going to say something, Tim? You muted, bro.
No, I don't think so. I forgot what it was actually.
Apologies, man. Yeah. So imagine like being the one to threaten all your neighbors, and then on the day you get attacked, everything falls apart, and your leader is dead on the first attack.
During the airstrike, nearby residents filmed from rooftops with voices heard shouting, "Oh my God, they hit it, they hit it." As news of Khamenei's death spread across Iran, celebrations broke out in various cities with car horns honking in jubilation. Netizens commented, "Iran has finally seen the light. We now await the downfall of the CCP." Some users
Remember, I said that the Chinese people want their dictators to go to Israel. They're openly saying it now, and they've been saying it for a while, but they're openly saying it now because they also don't want to be ruled by communist leadership, just like the Persians.
They're being kind of openly defiant.
Yeah. And some of them have lost their lives because of being openly defiant.
joke, "So excited about Khamenei's death. If our pighead was killed, how happy would the Chinese people be?" Israeli reports highlighted that the strike targeted not only Khamenei's location, but also cities such as Tehran, Bushehr, Qom, Karaj, Kermanshah, and Isfahan, with key military and defense facilities being hit, including the Ministry of Defense and Intelligence Agency.
Dude. The Ministry of Defense and the Intelligence Agency were hit. No wonder they can't freaking do anything. All the intelligence people are gone. All the defense people are gone.
Sounds like incompetent.
This is China. China gave him all the weapons. They sold them all the weapons to defend themselves, and this is what happens. Made in China. Bought from Temu.
Israel also reported that senior Iranian Revolutionary Guard commander Mohammad Pakpour was killed in the airstrike. In addition to the fighting in Iran, US and Israeli forces also attacked Hezbollah infrastructure in southern Lebanon and pro-Iranian militia sites in Iraq. US President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social stating that the US had launched strikes on multiple Iranian cities and issued an ultimatum to senior Iranian officials and military forces: surrender or die. He emphasized that those who laid down their weapons would be granted immunity, while those who resisted would face inevitable death. According to the latest report from Fox News, Iran
And Trump is right, because the Iranian people will want death for those who oppose them, who have harmed them. and it's better to hand over your weapons and and just stop stop fighting the people, or be on that list on that website to be followed up later after the cleansing has ended.
Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who had ruled Iran for over 30 years, was killed in an Israeli airstrike in Tehran. Israeli leaders confirmed that Khamenei's residence and office in downtown Tehran were destroyed in a targeted strike in the early hours of February 28th. Ironically, as the news of Khamenei's death spread like wildfire on Chinese social media, Chinese state-run media seemed to have received incorrect information, resulting in an embarrassing blunder. At 11:06 p.m. Beijing time on February 28th or 6:36 p.m. in Tehran, Xinhua news agency citing Iranian state television reported that Khamenei would address the nation in a few minutes. However, by the time this report was written, it was already 6:40 a.m. on March 1st in Beijing, 7 hours later, with no signs of Khamenei's appearing publicly. Netizens quickly mocked Chinese state media with comments like, "Why the rush to report safety just because it's a few minutes?" And they know it's fake news. It doesn't matter if they wait or not. Some even sarcastically claimed, "This just confirms Khamenei is done." A netizen humorously suggested that Iran might later release Khamenei's speech, but only show TV footage claiming it was pre-recorded. Others joked, "Haven't they found a body double yet?" AI video is being urgently produced and the servers are overloaded, and this means Khamenei may have already fled to China. Returning to the earlier question, what is the current?
She should have turned the volume down on the video, but what that was, and I saw the actual clip and actual translation of it, I think on either on 2C TV or on Atheist Republic. The lady was on top of her rooftop, and they were cheering and excited about the bombs being dropped on that building and killing him. Tim?
I was gonna say, yeah, they're gonna really love Americans after all this.
Yeah, I mean, when you're liberator, right? Because they've been begging for this for 3 months, for America and Israel to come in. But Trump was smart. He had to get everybody lined up to get to support him, and also to understand that this is not only the enemy of Israel or America, but the entire world. Iran's been destabilizing the Middle East for 50 years almost, right? 47 years, half a century. Because that's where all the radical extremism comes from, because that's where all the funding to advance Islamist ideology across the world, the radical shit. And Tim, you're right. Not only will they love America, but this Iranian people who fought hard and got their country back are getting their country back after 50, half a century later, have experienced true Islam for half a century. And they will be our saviors from Islam in the West, because they know what the real face of the devil looks like. They have seen the devil, right? They've met him. They've been abused by him. They've had their families murdered by him. They've been tortured, raped by him, had their children taken away, had their husbands and fathers, right? Mothers and daughters, grandchildren, niece, nephews. Every family that wasn't part of that ruling black cloth bullshit, right? That dictatorship, the mullahs, as they call them, the males, right? The preachers, the extreme assholes. They were favored, but everybody else was walking on eggshells all the time.
Current situation for Chinese nationals in Iran. Will they be able to escape successfully? A Chinese man in Iran who was robbed sought help from the Chinese embassy but was refused. In a video, he angrily raised his ID card, calling out the government.
给我一些吃的或者是喝的，我什么啥？
I'm desperately asking for help. I need food and water. I was robbed and my wallet and passport were stolen. Every day is full of fear. My only wish right now is to go back home, but I have no way of doing that.
The individual reported being hungry for 37 hours and after countless attempts to reach the embassy finally got through. However, embassy staff refused to assist, claiming that they were not responsible for such matters. They also said that they had no obligations to help and advised him to contact his family before blocking him. Now,
do you think the U.S. consulate would do that?
I don't think so. I think they do kind of work with citizens of the U.S. to try to get them home.
I don't think my my black passport with my brand new black passport, I had to replace it last year because I want to travel again. But I am protected by my passport because it's, you know, I'm a citizen. Your consulate should protect you. But Chinese people are learning that their passport means shit. Their red passport that they have, they're quickly learning. And I've been watching videos because I pay attention a lot, you know, like I say, global news. And a lot of them are complaining how the red passport is actually harmful to them because people just don't trust Chinese anymore. Because of their behavior overseas, Chinese tourists, people just think they're disgusting or their behavior is disgusting or they're immoral, they're corrupt. And these are Chinese people saying that about how people perceive them because of other tourists.
Netizens commented, cognition determines destiny. What was he doing in Iran? Why go at this time? Why didn't he leave earlier? Sympathy doesn't help. One user remarked, Chinese patriotic movie actor Wu Jing can't bring you back, but learning financial management can help you afford a plane ticket in critical times. Consider stable investment.
What she's talking about there is Wu Jing. It was in a movie called The Wolf Warrior, right? And in that movie, he says that your red Chinese passport is your doorway to any country, wherever you are. The government will come and save you. And everybody believed that in China because it was like, you know, state-sponsored propaganda.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would they lie to you, right?
Right. And so now everybody, since that movie's come out and they've been traveling overseas the last couple of years, since that movie came out, they're learning that it's just fucking bullshit, right? It's propaganda.
Projects like Aster, which provides security and offer an exit strategy anywhere. Regarding the high sky ticket prices, prominent commentator Fang Wei posted on X questioning why a flight from Damascus, Syria to Beijing or Hong Kong should cost nearly $500,000. Although
Oh yeah, and by the way, that's 500,000 USD, which is around about, oh gosh, almost $1 million, close to $1 million. New Zealand, 800,000.
Damn, just for a ticket?
Yeah, yeah, to get out of Dodge. Yeah.
Iran is currently launching missiles across 7 countries. It hasn't attacked its former ally Syria. Why would Syrians spend such an exorbitant amount to fly to Beijing? Even if you're Chinese, do you need 500,000 to go home? Stay in Syria is not dangerous. Fang Wei later concluded, number 1, the people who feel extreme danger are willing to leave at all cost are not Syrians, but high-ranking Iranian officials abandoning the sinking ship of the Iranian regime. Number 2, Because Iran is indiscriminately attacking 7 Middle Eastern countries, many flights in the region have been cancelled. But Syria, which hasn't been hit, still has flights. Number 3. So in the past 12 hours, these officials have quietly fled Iran, crossing land to Syria with their families. Number 4. Why are they flying to Beijing? Because that's where
running away like a rats in a ship, right? Sinking ship. All these mullahs, all these special, privileged top echelon of the dictatorship. But like I said, their names are on the list. They will be brought to justice once the war ends, once liberation, comes to pass for the Iranian people. I mean, I'm sure that, there are a couple million, tens of millions of Iranians who know who these people are because they're their neighbors, right? Just like in Germany, it was the neighbors who knocked people in, right? Who turned on their other neighbors, right? And handed them over to the Gestapo, to the SS, to the brown shirts, and so on. Put them on the trains. So these are the same, these are the Gestapos in Iran, and the brown shirts, and the SS commanders, right? That's why the Iranian people are so happy that it's finally, they're being liberated.
Their masters are. It's safe there. So flights from Syria to Beijing are being sold for $500,000 because these passengers are in a hurry. Fanwei humorously remarked that if this is the case, the CCP is being inconsiderate. They've been loyal to you for half their lives. At the time of crisis, you won't even send a few free planes to pick up your good friends. Instead, you force them to cough up the money they've embezzled during their time of trouble. This is classic CCP behavior. You no longer benefit me, so why should I help you? Unless I can squeeze something out of the ticket prices, I'll charge you $500,000. Analysts suggest many may not yet realize the full significance of the US-Iran conflict. Recently, Peking University professor Wang Zisi and US scholar David M. Lampton published an article in Foreign Affairs proposing an idea. Could Trump use the title?
You're probably wondering why I'm showing you the Chinese response to this, because not many people will see this side of the world of responses to this, right? Because everybody will be seeing Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, BBC, all that shit. But here's a independent Chinese YouTube channel that's observed China and the world and speaks on behalf of the Chinese people and how they see things. And what the experts say from an unbiased kind of situation where it's like, well, this is what they say, this is what they say. Because that's a different voice to all this, right? And then you get a different idea of it. Like $500,000 to get yourself out of the country. Who the hell walks around with that sort of money? Or has access to that sort of money, apart from the very, very rich, right? Or powerful.
One issue as a bargaining chip for a big deal. China could make some economic compromises and Trump might agree to geopolitical concessions, with both sides gaining what they need. Beijing judged that the US was bogged down in Middle East and needed China's help, but Iran, Russia, and North Korea issues. Additionally, Trump's tariff policies weren't going smoothly, and he may be eager to reach a deal with China. Beijing saw this as an opportunity. However, Beijing did not anticipate that the US and Israel would take immediate action. Some suggested this was a table-flipping move before the summit, meaning I'll speak with action before we continue talking. There's also speculation that Beijing has been playing a double game of the Iran issue for years. While publicly claiming cooperation in international forums, Beijing's technical and military ties with Iran have remained strong. The US action was a clear statement, waiting for Beijing to mediate. No, we'll take action directly. Some linked this action to previous US moves in Venezuela, arguing that it was a message to those so-called strategic partners. You keep talking about the China, Russia, Iran Iron Triangle. Now that's crunch time. Let's see.
See that? That's who is driving all the wars and all the, what should we say, all the conflicts in the world, right? And who's supplying the weapons? This right here. China's supplying all the weapons. Chinese weapons have ended up being fired in India, missiles in India, by Iranian and Pakistani militant terrorists in India, by the way, Chinese. Chinese weapons have been used via Iran into Israel during the last 2 years. Of course, Russia, for the last 4 years has been fighting Ukraine. And Chinese personnel, mercenaries, have been helping Russia. So this goes down, and Iran comes back to the modern age after 50 years, to the modern world, to the West again. That now leaves these two on their own. North Korea is not happy with China at the moment. So there's a bit of a division between North Korea and China, right? Russia is not happy with China at the moment either. So China, all their weapons they've been making has been falling apart. When, the weapons they've been going to Russia, weapons that were over in Iran, weapons that were over in Venezuela, all the radar protection things, all the defense weapons.
China's should probably just kind of sit this one out and worry about getting their citizens home.
That's what I would do, dude. You're on the mark there. It's like, just, pull up your pants and run home. But a corrupt nation like China, right, with its corrupt leaders, just like Iran. I don't know much about Russia, so I can't really say much about Russia, apart from what I've seen with the weapon supplies from China. It's kind of strange that, two big, the oil supply is out for China from Venezuela. Oil supply is out from Iran, which has been driving the economy because, you got to have oil in your cars, fuel in your cars, trucks, seriously, trucks to move things around. And now with the port of Hamas, which is Homs, which is, lets all the ships through, which Iran's been trying to control, with Iran coming back to the, to the West and secularism and democracy, that means it's safe for the world to move things, shipping through there. Oh, since I'm just talking about that, I think there was one just gosh, was it who just let me see if it's on China Observer, but I remember, was it yesterday or the day before, that a port, I can't remember what port it was, but in South America, 3 like major shipping ports were just taken over. Yeah, Panama. There it is.
Panama suddenly.
So just a quick one here, and then we finish. All right. We've gone about like 50 minutes over our time because we've been trying to keep these at 2 hours, Tim and I, because, well, you know, other people are streaming. We don't want to go use up too much.
Supposing we're wrapping up pretty soon.
Yeah. So this is the last bit. I just want to finish off with this one, but it won't be that long. Here we go. So Panama, of course, is one of the major, you know, if you know the landmark thing and Suez Canal and all that, historically, you know, I'll leave the link in there for you guys to check out. But we, yeah, do go in, do have a watch of this later, the full version, right?
Took action. 2 ports owned by Hong Kong billionaire Li Ka-shing were forcibly taken over. Early in the morning of February 23rd, dock workers at both ends of the Panama Canal arrived half an hour earlier than usual. They had heard that something might happen that day. Even so, what they saw was beyond their imagination. When workers reached the entrance of Balboa Port, they did not see their familiar co-workers. Instead, they saw Panamanian government personnel carrying rifles and heavy iron gates locked tightly shut. Announcements kept playing over loudspeakers. All PPC employees are not allowed to enter the port. The government has taken over control. This was not a drill. It was not a routine inspection. It was a lightning takeover that had been planned for a long time, but with no advance notice and no room for negotiation. With an administrative order in hand, the Panamanian government moved directly into the port's administrative building. They sealed the servers, took control of the gantry cranes, seized operational documents, and even barred senior executives from CK Hutchison from approaching the port. That same day, the main gate of Balboa Port was closed. Panamanian President Jose Raul Mulino gave a speech that day. He said that the management and operating rights of the 2 ports, both operated by a subsidiary of CK Hutchison Holdings called PPC, would be returned to the Panama Maritime Authority. He said this was to ensure the ports would continue operating safely and efficiently without interruption. The Panamanian Minister of Labor, Jacqueline Munoz, said there would be no layoffs. She described the takeover of equipment as a temporary occupation and said ownership of the equipment would remain with PPC. President Mulino also stressed that taking possession of movable equipment was not a permanent confiscation. In the future, the equipment would either be returned or handled through a sale with compensation paid. According to the arrangement, 2 of the world's top shipping companies would temporarily take over operations. APM Terminals, under Denmark's Maersk Group, would manage Balboa Port on the Pacific side. Mediterranean Shipping Company, MSC, based in Switzerland, would take over the Cristobal Port on the Atlantic. This arrangement would last until new contracts are signed through a new bidding process, which is expected to be completed within 18 months. Observers pointed out that the Panamanian government's sudden decision to reclaim these ports before President Trump's visit to China was seen as a major gift to Trump. For Chinese Communist Party leader Xi Jinping, it was viewed as a heavy blow. Why are these 2 ports so important and closely watched? Because after Trump returned to the White House, they became one of the most fiercely contested strategic strongholds in the broader confrontation between the US and China. Let's take a look at what happened during this period. On the evening of January 29th this year, Panama's Supreme Court issued a ruling. It found that the terms under which CK Hutchison operated the 2 ports violated the country's constitution. Those terms had granted Panama Ports Company, PCC, the right to develop, build, operate, and manage the Balboa Port on the Pacific side and the Cristobal Port on the Atlantic side. President Trump said in 2024 that he was determined to take back the Panama Canal from the Chinese Communist Party. Since then, control over the canal has been under close scrutiny. In March 2025,
All right, I'll leave that there with you guys. If you find it's very important. The reason it's very important is because, well, you'll have to find out for yourself. The thing is that to have your enemy in your backyard is not a good thing. Or, as a lot of Europe countries and UK is finding out, amongst yourself is not a good thing. But Canada is going to find out soon because they've allowed a lot of military age men, which is a word I forgot last stream, military age men into the country who are militant from their own countries, like North Africa.
Yeah, Canada needs to start growing some balls.
But they want to be friends with Islamists. I mean, Kanye wants to be good buddies, bosom buddies. Sadly, sometimes leftists, unless, like that judge I mentioned earlier, get robbed and beaten and getting out of their car at their front doorstep and next to their garage, their eyes will not be opened, right? Some people just need to be slapped across the face, metaphorically and sometimes physically, to go, oh shit, you were right, bro. We were too stupid not to see it. How do we not see it? We let the enemy in, and now they're turning against us, just like in Austin, Texas. Hopefully there won't be more, but I am sure all the police and emergency services across America are on high alert, as they should be across the entire world right now. Because sleeper cells are everywhere. I mean, I'm not just saying it's conspiracy theory. That's just normal.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
the intelligence agencies are actually talking to each other.
True. Unlike 9/11. Yeah. I think a lot has changed since that time, but also I think with Trump getting in again, there's a lot more. I mean, he experienced that, saw through that, watched what happened, and has become wiser, this second term. And if you don't learn from the past and from history, you got no one to blame but yourself, right, Tim? You got to learn from mistakes. All right, folks. Sorry, Tim.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. This was a long one, and wherever you are, thank you, all of you. I can see you. And however you're watching us, either from like the Monkey Channel or from X, thank you. And if you are watching from X, please pop over and give us a sub. I noticed that after the last Bloodsport stream, I had like a couple people just unsubscribe, which is funny because you kind of wonder whatever. It's not like I'm trying to get 1 million subscriptions here or make money on this
like
thing.
you're trying to be a YouTuber.
Yeah, I'm actually busy most of the time making comics and writing stuff and running businesses. So this is just my outlet for whatever. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody else. Bye for now. See you on the flip side. Ka kite ano. And be safe out there, especially at this, these coming weeks.
Yeah, of course.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.